feelings. I think I need a side table for all the electronics. I'll set that over there. Alrighty. So, yeah. Build stream. Hey. Can't see me because, honestly, we're in week 4 of quarantine. Yeah. Folded table is a good idea, Saladin. Thank you. With both my kids are getting into doing virtual classrooms and stuff, so there's no. All you're gonna see is my hands, dancing hands. Oh, camera. Gets that later. Anyways, moved one of my cameras from the studio to the other computer so that the kids can use it for their virtual classrooms. So yeah, and so with that, we'll just kind of roll into it. This week, working on a ruined castle. Yes, I have 3, and you saw one of them used, and have the second one that's up there somewhere. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Jump in the Discord just in case there's anybody Discording. Nah, I don't have any Discords yet. Anyway, so working on a castle layout for upcoming session. And I was trying to approach this last week, but of course last week I got laid off. So naturally that kind of changed my plans for what I'm going to work on. So we'll just kind of roll with it. I got a session coming up, and they're starting out here inside this castle. They're going to be starting in this room right here, and I wanted a tactical map so they could see as they try to progress through and out. So I was trying to figure out how to do that. So what I decided to do was take a piece of dollar store foam board. I peeled the paper off, and then I started to lay out the map. I use this as my sacrificial template, so that once I got to this point, I can just take it layer by layer. So now I had this to do on the foam. And then we take out a couple more layers where you start seeing some of the features. And then a couple more layers, and all of a sudden you have the castle. So kind of approach this kind of like how a paper craft would go. Yes. I will take a look at your GitHub. I never got that email request, by the way, Saladin. Saladin's working on a project he wants me to help with, and figure it's a good quid pro quo. Oh, using that word for working on it. So I've got here is I have this template, and what I did is I transferred the template to XPS Foam so that I could lay this out, and kind of get a better idea of scale. So I'll set these aside. There's still a few pieces in there I still have to cut out. And this is where we're sitting now. So we have our castle. The description of the castle was 10 feet up. You had to walk up the stair. You had to walk up these stairs to come in. And then most of the walls are ruined, but they're fairly high. And of course they have, the battlements and everything like that. But using a hot wire foam cutter, I was cut it out to this point. As you can see, we have our intrepid quartet of Dragonborn exploring the castle to give you an idea of size and scale. And what we're going to do for tonight anyway, is we're going to texture this main floor right here and see what we can do for texture in the sides. It's got a pretty good texture right now because of the way the hot wire foam cutter worked. There's these little wisps and little stuff, but I think they probably add to it. Of course, not everything's kind of square, but stone doesn't necessarily have to be square. So yeah, that's where we're starting. So we'll go ahead and take off our walls. Set them up over here. Have our intrepid quartet of Dragonborn hang out right there. Yeah, well, I'm actually going to glue these two layers, all the layers together to this point. I'm debating on if I want to go full scale based on the description for if you're coming into it, but I think for the purposes of getting to my game, in fact, this has got these complex shapes. I'm just going to kind of glue these together. I don't have any toothpicks to use as posts to kind of hold everything together, so figured I'll just put some PVA glue here, kind of hold it together and just kind of let it attach itself. Now that I have most everything lined up, that's why I cut it in layers so that it would stack easier. The interesting thing for these is since they were cut at the same time, the hot wire actually kind of welded the foam together. So unless I go through the effort of trying to break them apart, they're not going to come apart quite easily. But I may drive some toothpicks through later. Let's go get some first. I have to go get some. Anyway, so yes, going to work on that. I'm going to use a wood pencil for scoring lines and getting through this. So I'm just going to start. Now we'll just go with this. That's a good use for this. Kind of use that to define those lines. There's a lot of way to do these textures and whatever. Big thing is you're just making a quick break in the foam. So use it as a good reference for later. Listen to that foam squeak. Layer of PVA on this. I could use hot glue and stuff like that, but I think just for today, because I'm going to let this sit, just run a bead of a do. Ooh, there goes the pencil. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty rough already, so. Well, at least get these in, so then it's like I've got interior walls to still lay out. A couple of big thick pieces still to cut out, so if I can get this going, let this start drying, I can move on to some of those other things. Go to waste. Of course, I'm using a sacrificial brush here because it's going to get all nasty with glue. Kind of like the way the like the texture the foam cutter gave this. It really looks a little more stone-like. Alright, last one. So I've been working on editing the last several videos. I know I haven't posted anything to the YouTubes in a few weeks. I apologize. But, you know, things are crazy, especially when helicopters are flying over. You know. Alrighty. So we have this. Cool. I can set this over here. And I have quite a few bits left over. Yeah, looks like that'll work for that one. This will probably work better. Oh yeah. Ah, there it is. Precision work, precision blade. Fortunately, that one is dull. And I don't have a knife sharpener. So I have to play dangerous and pull a blade out of here. "100 cuts." There we go. Fresh blade there. Fresh blade there. Snap, crackle, pop. All right, and we're off. So, it's a Sharpie to trace out this pattern. course, this is where things are kind of quiet, so be nice. Something to talk. Still remember as a kid though. No, don't do the D&D stuff. It's evil. Really? It's scenario and problem solving. How is that a bad thing? It's because it deals with magic and monsters. Well, yeah. I mean, it'd be a lot. I mean, what else would you? What I mean, how would you definitely market that if you weren't doing Dungeons and Dragons or monsters and treasure hunting? I mean, seriously. I mean, what would that be? Where would be the appeal? I mean, how would you market it too? It's like, here's a rousing game of political science. Yeah, that's what we'll call it. Huh? Alrighty. Well, we have our two of these. Guess I'm gonna have to go out and brave and find some more PVA glue soon too. I'm not gonna glue this to the floor in there just yet because there's placement for it, and I believe this connects with some walls. So I want to cut the walls and attach the walls to it. Yeah, there is. There's a couple walls that connect with this. Just some cleanup on that a little later. Put that aside. One more piece we'll do on stream, and then oh, that's a terribly convenient size, but no. Alrighty. Just doing a quick snapshot of what I'm building. I'm gonna keep building, so. go. Let that set up. It's drying up pretty good too. Save my template pieces in case I want to rebuild this without the damage and destruction. Alrighty. Alrighty, well, that was a quick little hour out of the night. Like I said, though, I'm going to continue on this. I figured I'd just pop out real quick, let you guys see what I'm working on, and keep working on it, and I'll post pictures. Check me out on Instagram at Scuba Studio or Scuba Cod. Know that we do shows Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday is a game stream. Tuesday is our podcast. Wednesday is doing builds like this. And maybe adding a D&D stream in the near future. Don't know. Still got to look at that. But check us out. Check out our YouTube. I'm going to get some videos posted up real soon, so I'll give more time to being on this. But I've got to focus on this to get this ready. And I'll show you some pictures of it later. All right? Y'all have a good night.